Hello guys, welcome back and a happy new year to you all. In a little bit of a rush, it's not particularly late but it's very cold today. It's I think about -1 at the moment, and we've got some weather coming in. So I don't know if that weather's going to be rain or if it's going to be snow. If it's rain, it starts to get a bit dodgy because of the hypothermia kind of situation, so I need to get set up before then. Right, let's take a look at the shelter I'm using today. It's a Polish Lavvu, but with a twist. So, as a lot of you will know, a Polish Lavvu is like a teepee shelter made up from two halves of ponchos, as used by the Polish army. I have one, it's the medium size, there's 3 sizes available. I find it a bit small and impractical, to be honest. I've added some loops to it, as they really do need that, but I've not really done any other modifications. My one is from 1976, so it is actually a couple of years older than myself. But today, from Spanish Bushcraft, I have the Lavu extension, which turns it into more like a baker tent style of thing. It's the same sort of canvas, and well, I guess I've never put it up, so let's try. I've already buttoned the 2 halves to it, so hopefully it's not going to be too difficult. My apologies, it's Bushcraft Spain, not Spanish Bushcraft. We'll talk about them in a bit. I bought this just before they actually had quite a big incident, so yeah, let's get this up. So this spot is relatively flat, so we're going to go here. So these are the original poles for the Lavu, so I'm going to use them to cut a second pole for the other side, because I'm using the 2 halves separate. Alright, so I think the way is to peg her all out and then put the poles in. That's my plan anyway. It's hard to show, but that's the kind of shape I've been left with. Time to try and put it up. Now, I've not really watched any media on these at all, but your Lavu halves, they have a pocket, and so does the tarp, the extension. So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the idea is. We'll see. Now, I don't mind saying I get a little confused with Lavus to begin with. They have so many different flaps and stuff. I'm guessing that would overlay that and the buttons go through. But my main point is, to get this way round, this pocket had to be on the outside of these or it didn't button up correctly. So I've got the pole in the hole on here, because I don't really see how you could have it on both unless that was inside and you could go inside that and then you would, well, there's no pocket on the outside, so it has to go that way. I sometimes think my Lavu is buttoned up wrong. Right, yeah, so that's a bit weird, because that's now, you know, you can't hook that over in any way. See, the problem is if I flip that, then the buttons are wrong. But if I flip ends, are the buttons then right? But it's inside out. So maybe I am an idiot, and that does. Because I've got no buttons at the back then. What if I reverse the ends? Does that work? So I swapped the ends over, and as you can see I've got two sets of buttons on this side. If I take you around the other side, I have none. So the original way I had it is the only way. If I reverse the top, does that work? For the record, that's reversed, and I've still got buttons on one side and not on the other. Inside out, but then I haven't got my pocket. So here we are. We're in the pockets of the actual Lavvu halves, but this is only attached with the buttons at the back so far. Now the pocket is on the outside, but there is, that's not really, there's a flap because of the buttons that may, no, I don't think so. Maybe if I do this button up. I thought I had it for a second, so we're hooked on and hooked over. We've got buttons on this side and open on the other side, so reverse what I was going to do. So this side hooked over, only no buttons. No buttons. Other side buttons, buttons. It's not me, is it? I'm so confused. Is the Lavvu incorrectly made? Is the extension incorrectly made? Am I incorrectly made? So I might be onto something here. If I put these buttons, basically one of these is inside out, one is not, I believe, yeah. And if I put the buttons through this flap on this side, and then I can stick them through these holes. But having one inside out seems to be the only way I can do this. Getting a bit annoyed now. I thought I had it and I was pulling it all out taut, just fettling, and this pocket keeps sliding off of here because it's just the canvas on there. Maybe the pocket could have been bigger. It works the other way around on the other side, but with this one being inside out, boom. So on the back of the shelter here you'll see a slight colour difference. I mean, this is older than me, so is to be allowed, I guess. Yeah, so you can see the buttons look identical, to be honest. And you've got this pocket in the middle at the back and on the other side as well. So I'm going to use that for the stove. Probably should have undone this before putting everything up. Mind you, I didn't know what way round it was going to be. Getting dark and I'm starting to get a little bit worried about this weather coming in before I've got any wood. Right, so as you can see, that chimney is directly on the pocket there, and you usually have to get creative with a Lavvu, but I have this, which is from a different stove, but it should fit on here. You know what, it actually seems quite roomy under here, so I'm quite happy at last. Right, I need to get a move on, get the sleep system in and get some wood. I have a piece of canvas for like a ground sheet in here. If I can remember the details I put it, I think this was made in Poland, funny enough, so it goes around. Just put 2 lanterns up, one on either side in the Lavvu. Done my thermarest. I was going to go for traditional bedroll, but right now I'm glad I didn't. So, got my winter sleeping bag. And just in case, because, well, I've got a bivvy bag. Well, it's pretty cosy now, it's all set up. Lucky the weather hasn't come in yet. I mean, it's been changing. Every time I look it's different. It's rain, it's snow, it's sleet, it's going to, it's not going to, it's pushed back. I actually came out to film this video yesterday, and when I got to this location I realised I had no batteries for my camera. I charged them all but not put them in the bag. So this is going to take two, which is kind of carrying on a trend from last year. Yeah, there was two other lanterns I was going to bring, my paraffin ones, and I've forgotten them as well. But I've got my electric ones. I just wanted ones outside and inside, but I shall survive. Oh, right. Let me show you a couple of things about this kind of setup that I want you to see. Well, firstly, while I'm sat here, that's what it looks like from the inside, going up through the awning. You could just use sticks as spreaders, all sorts of different ways of doing that. One concern from using awning tents is where the water likes to try and get in them corners, and especially, I don't know if you can see, I'll show you from the outside. On the side that kept slipping off, you can see there's a little bit of a gap there. It's got overhang, but you know, it is just buttons and gaps and stuff. And I do have a pocket hole right above the bed. Yeah, it is overlapped. The way you can tell the size of a Lavvu is by the eyelet holes at the bottom. Mine's got two, so it's a medium. 3 is the bigger one, and as you can see this would fit a 3 as well. Saying that, they do cost kind of a fortune now. They used to be like £20–30 for a full Lavvu set. I wish I'd got the bigger one when I had the chance. I do love this stove, but it is awkward to carry. Alright, stick a bit of wood at the back there. Oh, that's good. It's pretty nice and cosy now. I'm feeling pretty settled after all the stress earlier of putting this thing up. I still don't know exactly what's going on. I'll have to see if there's some videos, maybe speak to the guys that make it as well. But we'll go over some of the details in a bit as well. Paid for with my money. Wasn't a freebie. Ooh, warming up now. I was just thinking, if you had 2 tree peas, the little adapter by Rough Timber that allows you to use 3 sticks, open up a Lavvu. If you had 2 of them in here, you could really open this up. You could use cot bed in here easy, I think. But I've only got the one, so I didn't bring it. Maybe next time if I use this again. Should do after paying all the money for the awning. Well, my stove jack thing seems to be holding up, doing quite well. I was a bit worried it would slide down, but I think the ridges in the segments hold it there. You probably can't hear it, but the rain's just come on. It's starting to get heavier. Brought some beers with me. Flock, which is a Canterbury in Kent brewery. Bought these ones, they weren't kind of 1 cent to me. I wanted to try them out. They got some pretty funky labels. This one is a pale ale. Start off easy with a 4%er. Oop. But pretty cosy in here. You can probably hear a pheasant over there. I can just see out and see the dusk. Hoping it's going to be a good night. I am glad. I just managed to see a weather forecast, and it is, yeah, rain, rain, rain all night, so I'm glad I brought the bivvy just in case. Also, I can't shut this down. I don't know if I mentioned that. Only one side has buttons available because of all that hassle I was having. Plus, obviously, I'd have to wait for the stove and the chimney to cool down and everything. But it's fine. Once I'm in there, I'll be warm enough. There's not much wind in here. Been raining a little while. I thought I'd start on dinner. Got some pepper here, and in the bowl there I've got some onion and garlic. I'm making a meatloaf. That's my plan, at least. So I'm just prepping my vegetables that I need first. It's only going to be a small meatloaf for one, so I don't need too much. Right, that's the pepper, all nice and small. Just to do some onion now. Now I need breadcrumbs for the meatloaf. I'm going to use these croutons which are already flavoured, so I thought why not? Be rude not to. Right, I've got my meat there. There is my breadcrumbs. And the vegetables, there's the garlic in there as well. I'm just going to give that a good old mix. I've got some seasoning here. And I've got an egg, which I'm just going to use a bit of because this is so small. Let's see how much of this mix we can fit into the lightly oiled mini loaf pan. This may have been a good guesstimate. Look at that, not bad. Actually holds more than you think, this little loaf pan. And of course we've got a very special ingredient for this. Ordinarily you'd be putting like ketchup over it, maybe with some honey, maybe with some Worcester sauce in it. Well, you're halfway to a barbecue sauce already, so I'm going to use the Kent Survival one. 250ml bottles available now. But yeah, we'll put that on kind of halfway through cooking. You don't want the sort of sugars in the sauce to burn. Right, let's get this in the oven. should have a pretty good temperature there already. What are we on? 300 Fahrenheit, whatever that is. It is what it is. Could open this up. I thought that the rain had got quieter, but it's snowing. I was like, oh, I filmed the rain. That's snow. It's probably kind of a sleet, but who knows what will happen overnight. Be nice. We've had snow over the kind of Christmas New Year period, and it settled overnight, and then in the morning it rained and just washed it all away. Right, we have a slight problem where the water's pooling either side of the pocket there. Yeah, not quite sure what I'm going to do just yet with that. Well, I've got the water off both sides up there, but it's going to pool in again. I'm going to have to drop the front of this, but it's going to be a bit weird with the stove and the chimney going through it. I'll just keep an eye on it for now. Didn't really think about that. Temperature's getting a bit better now. We should be baking. Right, next up, the Whisper. Another flock beer, pale ale, 5%. I've got a couple of stronger ones, but yeah, let's get what I need to do done first. Cheers. Oh, that's a nice one. I like that one. Juicy pale ale, brewed with choice blend, American hops, soft like malt base. A little fruity note to it. Looking forward to dinner. I just noticed it was cooking a bit too quickly on top, so I put something on top of it. I could turn the fire down a bit as well, couldn't I? I've got some oil in the pan, and you can see bits of snow going in it. As are some parboiled potatoes. Right, while my potatoes fry, look at that, it's looking good. I'm going to turn this out, hopefully. Oh yes, that actually looks alright. I might just bake this for a minute this way up, then put the sauce on. It's looking pretty good, so let's get the barbecue sauce on. Just get that spread out. Getting on the sides a bit. Yeah. Potatoes are starting to look good here as well. I opened the port. Doesn't really matter when you're kind of semi-outdoors like this. There we go, the meatloaf. And some potatoes. Right, this is very cack-handed for me, the wrong way round, but let's cut into this meatloaf. Looks pretty good. I think I've cooked meatloaf once ever. It's not really a very British thing, but I think that looks alright. You guys be the judge. Right, so let's give it a go. Got to go in with that meatloaf first, end bit. This is actually pretty good. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Potatoes, remember to season them. Parboiled them at home. Yeah, this'll do. Well, be rude not to. That was lovely. Must admit, I do enjoy having an oven at camp. I do like these sort of hot tent camps. Say hot tent, I'm completely open at the front here. But I'm comfortable enough in my jacket. I don't know if I'd like to take this off. But yeah, that filled a hole, that did. Very, very nice. I really enjoyed that, and I'm really glad I used the barbecue sauce rather than ketchup. I think that would have been a bit more boring. Just went out there for a little look, and it's getting quite white out there. It's a little slushy, but it's more than I thought I was going to get. Kind of good I had to delay the camp a day, really. I get to enjoy this snow. Hopefully it will still be settled in the morning, we'll see. But yeah, the stove's going well. When I'm back where the bed is right now, it's a bit cooler. But yeah, it is chilling down, I guess. Another one bites the dust. Diddle-doo, boo, boo. Got some Galaxy hot chocolate today. It's been a little while since I last spoke to you. Ooh, that's good. Ooh, nice sweet kick. It's nice and warm too. I've been having them cold beers. It's pretty cold. I can feel the heat of the stove, but with the whole front open like this, it's not amazing. I did have it open, the door of the stove, for a little while. I might try and close it down a bit. I'm going to have to move that sleeve down the chimney if I do. I don't know if it's worth it, because once I'm in the sleeping bag, I'll be fine. Oh, that's good. But an enjoyable evening otherwise. Obviously, you can probably still hear it's kind of snowing, sleeting. It is settling. We'll see what it looks like in the morning, if it's still there. But yeah, a nice evening really. Gonna have this and get myself to bed. Good morning. It's a chilly one. I got the stove on as soon as I woke up, basically. Ooh, why not? I closed down the awning part a little bit last night, not completely, but it did help keep that warmth from just stoking up the fire before I went to bed. But yeah, I'll open it back up in a bit. There's no rush, to be honest. Now I'm back in here. Yeah, there's a bit of snow on the ground, not huge amounts. It was sleety, rainy till early hours. Yeah, there was a lot, so I guess that got rid of a lot of the snow. Hey ho. Considering there was a lot of rain and a lot of snow and that, it held up really well. Nothing really got through. Tiny drips down the side of the awning as expected, but she did good. I've opened up the front of the awning here again and lifted the sleeve on the chimney. I think it's time for some breakfast. Before I start breakfast, I just need to cut a little bit of onion and a little bit of garlic, which I've got there, left over from the dinner ingredients. And what we're doing is something called tropeiro beans, which is Brazilian. I almost forgot one other vegetable ingredient here, and that is kale. And yeah, a bit weird, but I've had this dish before and I did really like it. And one other thing I have here to chop is some smoked sausage. So just get that into little bite-sized pieces. Let's get some wood in there to cook with. I've got some oil in a pan here, and this is some lardons, bacon. I'm going to go in with my smoked sausage. And onion. I need to put a bit of butter and garlic. Flame went down, I've just stoked it up. Next up we've got bolletti beans, which I believe are the same as pinto. So we'll get some of them in, I'm not sure how many. I suppose it is the main attraction. That down for a minute. Right, so we've got some salt and pepper here. And some turmeric. I'll go in with that kale. The final ingredient is cassava flour. Now, I'm not too sure how much to put in, so I'm going to add a bit and stir it in. Just kind of sucks up the fat and adds a little texture to the dish. Maybe a touch more. You can use kind of cornmeal masa, whatever you have to hand. Ooh, that's looking like I remember now. Let's fill our bowl. There's quite a lot there actually. Oh no, I have forgotten something. It's okay, I can save this. The blooming eggs. Okay, just quickly add some, not all of this back, just to get it mixed in. And there we go. Right, here we go, Trapero beans with egg. Almost. First time I've ever made this. That's good. I feel like it could do with some kind of sauce or salsa or something on the side, because it's quite dry with that cassava flour. I do love cassava though, well, fresh usually. I believe it to be more of a side dish, I'm not too sure. As nice as that was, I couldn't quite finish it. Right guys, that's me all done. Oh, it was a fun camp in the end. I had a little trouble with that tent, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to get Mark to take it out, as he's like a bit of an expert with these old kind of wartime tents and stuff. See what he makes of things. But in theory, if I'm doing something wrong here, it's good. Right, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.